Obviously, we see her shooting, we see her passing, we see all that stuff on the floor, but a lot of that comes from a lot of hard work. She's in the gym almost all the time working on her game.
Let's run that. I think her ability to lead this team as a rookie, she's really starting to step into that role, and I think that's exciting to see as well.
Person has got that cachet, that marketability, that could have been selfish, was selfless, and thought not just about herself, but everybody. And because of...
Could Caitlin Clark be getting the greatest mentor in basketball history? The Indiana Fever's surprising rise might be about to get even bigger. Reports suggest Larry Bird could join the team, but what would that mean for Christie's squad and how does Clark feel about it? The impact could be huge for both the Fever's title hopes and the WNBA as a whole. Before we dive deeper, a quick favor, if you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe. Over 98% of viewers watch without subscribing, and your support really helps us grow. Thank you. Now, back to the story. It's crazy to think about, but not long ago the Fever were barely on the map. They weren't just struggling, they were at the very bottom of the league.
We talk about greats in this game. You know, the Michael Jordans and the Kobe Bryants and the Steph Currys, like they are putting her in that category, the Diana Taurasi's.
Clark now has an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike that will include her own signature shoe. The deal is the richest sponsorship contract for women's basketball.
For 7 long seasons, the Fever couldn't even reach the playoffs. The stands were often half empty, and the atmosphere inside the arena felt lifeless. Other teams looked at Indiana as an easy win, while the Fever seemed stuck in endless rebuilding. With no real direction, that all shifted the moment Caitlin Clark arrived. The Fever used their top pick to grab the biggest name in college basketball, and overnight, the spotlight was on them. Suddenly, people who had never cared about the Fever were paying attention. But with excitement comes pressure. Clark wasn't just any prospect, she was a star at Iowa, known for racking up triple-doubles and sinking shots from half-court like it was nothing. The question was, could she carry that same dominance into the WNBA? Expectations were massive. Indiana wasn't just hoping for a good rookie, they needed a player who could completely change their future. Clark was being called a generational talent, someone who might save the franchise. And here's what's remarkable, she hasn't just lived up to the hype, she's gone beyond it. Even as a rookie, Clark has shown command of the game, performing like a seasoned veteran. She regularly leads her team in points, assists, and rebounds when it matters most. Her impact goes far past the box score. Clark has made the Fever exciting again. Every game feels like an event. Her fearless style, high energy, and ability to unite her teammates have brought a new spirit to Indiana basketball. Fans who once ignored the Fever are tuning in. People who never watched the WNBA are suddenly following the games. With Clark, it's not just about winning, it's about making basketball an Indiana must-watch entertainment again.
College, I had teammates that were there with me for 4 years and were really comfortable playing with me. And then you come here and you have to learn your teammates in 2 weeks before you step on the court, and that can be really hard.
Let's run that. I think her ability to lead this team as a rookie, she's really starting to step into that role, and I think that's exciting to see as well.
And Clark's impact isn't limited to basketball itself, it's changing the business side too. Season ticket sales have skyrocketed, jumping more than 400%. Sponsors are lining up to be connected with her name, eager to buy into the Caitlin Clark effect, even if they don't fully grasp why she's become such a phenomenon. The arenas tell the story. What were once empty seats are now packed crowds. And it's not just everyday fans filling them. Celebrities, influencers, and people who never cared about women's basketball before are suddenly showing up, wanting to be part of the Fever's new energy on the court. Clark's intensity is electric. Every possession feels alive when she has the ball, but her influence doesn't stop when the game ends. She's become a voice within the team, someone whose presence might even shape decisions about coaching and direction. That brings us back to the big question, what happens if Larry Bird steps into this already charged atmosphere? Imagine it. The Fever led by one of the most legendary figures in basketball history, paired with the WNBA's brightest new star. On paper, it looks like a dream combination. Bird's credentials are unmatched. As a player, he collected 3 NBA championships, 3 MVP awards, and built a legacy as one of the most dominant forces the sport has ever seen. His career set a standard that few could reach, and as a coach, he proved just as impactful. With the Indiana Pacers, Bird didn't just win games, he turned the franchise into a true Eastern Conference contender. His leadership and vision helped keep basketball in Indiana both competitive and respected. He has a history of shaping rosters, making the tough calls, and crafting long-term success. If he were to bring that same ability to the Fever, the possibilities for the franchise could be enormous.
Obviously, we see her shooting, we see her passing, we see all that stuff on the floor, but a lot of that comes from a lot of hard work. She's in the gym almost all the time working on her game.
Like I said, she's a special player. She commands so much defensive attention. And I think that's one of the things that separates her in terms of winning that Rookie of...
Larry Bird's ties to Indiana basketball run deep. From his college days at Indiana State to his years shaping the Pacers, his influence has always been felt. But here's the catch: he's never worked in women's basketball. That fact alone raises important questions. Coaching in the WNBA isn't the same as coaching in the NBA. The style of play is different, the dynamics are unique, and history has shown that men's coaches don't always adjust well. On top of that, WNBA fans are deeply passionate and protective of the league's culture. So a move like this would spark both excitement and skepticism. What makes it especially interesting is how it could affect Caitlin Clark. A mentorship from Larry Bird could be game-changing. His knowledge, experience, and perspective would be invaluable as she grows not only as a player, but also as the face of the franchise and one of the league's biggest stars. For Clark, it's about more than just adding skills on the court. It's also about learning how to handle the pressure of being the centerpiece of a team and a public figure carrying the weight of a league's future. With Bird's guidance, she might gain an edge that takes her influence to another level.
Rookie of the Month has only been around since 2010, but she's the first player ever to win Rookie of the Month and Player of the Month.
Person has got that cachet, that marketability, that could have been selfish, was selfless, and thought not just about herself, but everybody. And because...
The big question is whether Clark and Bird's strong personalities would complement each other or clash over leadership and vision. Bird's involvement could reshape how women's basketball is viewed beyond the court. His name alone draws headlines. And with the Fever already turning into more than just a team, a cultural symbol, the spotlight would only grow brighter. The stakes couldn't be higher. At the center of it all is Caitlin Clark, who has not only revived the Fever, but also broadened what's possible for the entire WNBA. Her arrival fueled a 400% surge in ticket sales, packed arenas, and a wave of corporate partnerships, completely redefining the franchise now. The thought of adding Larry Bird raises the bar even further. His legendary status could amplify Clark's influence and push women's basketball into new territory. Still, the dynamic could also test the balance of leadership inside the team. That brings us to the bigger picture. Could this be the start of a new trend? NBA legends stepping into the WNBA and shaping its future? It's a possibility worth considering, and one that could change the sport forever. To appreciate how far things have come, it's important to remember where the Fever once were. For 7 straight seasons, the team couldn't even crack the playoffs. Fans barely showed up. The arena felt empty, and opponents saw Indiana as an easy win. The franchise looked stuck in endless rebuilding with no clear path forward. Then came Caitlin Clark. From the moment the Fever used their top draft pick on her, everything changed overnight. The hype was massive, and the pressure was just as heavy. Clark came in with a reputation for dominating college basketball, dropping triple-doubles and hitting half-court shots with ease. The only question was, could she do the same in the WNBA? The question was whether Caitlin Clark could carry her college success into the WNBA. Expectations were sky-high, especially for a franchise desperate for a turnaround. The remarkable part, she didn't just meet those expectations, she blew past them. Clark has taken control of games with the poise of a seasoned veteran. Even as a rookie, she's been the one putting up points, creating plays, and grabbing rebounds when her team needs it most. But her impact isn't just measured by numbers. Clark has turned the Fever into must-see basketball. Her dazzling plays, relentless energy, and natural ability to unite teammates have pulled in both longtime WNBA fans and people who had never watched women's basketball before, and the effect goes far beyond the court. The business side of the franchise is booming. Season ticket sales have shot up for 100%. Sponsors are pouring in money, eager to attach themselves to the Clark phenomenon. Even if they don't fully grasp it, arenas that once looked half empty are now buzzing with life. It's not just fans filling the seats anymore. Celebrities, influencers, and newcomers to the sport are showing up, wanting to be part of the movement Clark has created. Her intensity on the floor is contagious, and her influence continues to grow within the team. She's no longer just a Star player, she's a figure who could even shape decisions about coaching and direction. Which circles us back to the big question: what happens if Larry Bird enters this atmosphere? Imagine it, Larry Bird, one of the greatest names in basketball history, working alongside Caitlin Clark, who has already become the face of the WNBA on paper. It feels like a perfect match of experience and emerging talent. Still, the implications of this move aren't easy to pin down. Larry Bird's track record speaks volumes as a player. He claimed 3 NBA championships, 3 MVP awards, and set the bar for dominance in the sport. Later, as head coach of the Indiana Pacers, he didn't just collect wins, he turned them into a true Eastern Conference contender, proving his ability to lead both on and off the court. His knack for building rosters and making sharp strategic decisions kept Indiana basketball relevant for years. The question is, how would that mesh with Caitlin Clark? Would their strong personalities complement each other, or could they clash? Over vision and leadership, Bird's involvement would be bigger than X's and O's. His name alone attracts attention, and his presence could change how women's basketball is viewed beyond the game itself. The Fever have already become more than a team, they're now a cultural symbol. And at the center of it all is Clark. She hasn't just transformed the Fever, she's expanded what's possible for the entire league. Her arrival brought a 400% jump in ticket sales, packed arenas, and a flood of corporate interest that reshaped the team's identity. With Bird in the mix, women's basketball could rise to new heights. His legacy might reinforce Clark's growing power, but their partnership could also test the balance of leadership inside the franchise. That leads to a bigger question. Could this open the door for other NBA legends to join the WNBA? It's an idea that could reshape the future of the league. Share your thoughts below. The Fever story is just beginning.